What is the difference between African Americans in the United States and Africans on the continent?
Well, the one thing that I will say is Africans on the continent, Frank, have a deep-seated tradition that they've been able to keep and protect, even though Africa as a whole, all 54 countries pretty much are colonized. You have traditions and dances and things that are rich in culture that goes back thousands and thousands of years prior to recorded history. That is a huge advantage over what we had to create from scraps and genetic engineering, overbreeding, all the things that happened to foundational Black Americans over the course of 400 years. I think that the problem has always been, just to what you said when you were with me in New York, is that there is a severe disconnect and that we don't really have that bridge, but we have been colonized in different ways. When you look at how families have been impacted with all of the propaganda, the media, firestorm of you need to be independent. You've got, the black wave of feminism, which in and of itself has been proven to be funded by the CIA, which is really interesting. You start to see the erosion of the black family. And what I find very interesting from a historical perspective is J. Edgar Hoover actually said the two biggest threats to America is the rise of a black messiah and black unity. What is more unified than a black family? So if you disrupt that, then you get all the chaos that has come after that over the past 40, 50 years. So I think those are distinct differences.
When we first discovered the Titanic, I was not allowed to tell the true story because actually I served in naval intelligence for 30 years.
For decades, the Titanic rested in silence, its secrets sealed in darkness.
We lost during the Cold War 2 U.S. nuclear submarines, and right in between was the Titanic.
Robert Ballard knew the story was not over. When he reached the wreck, the seafloor revealed evidence no report or survivor could explain. Moments frozen, decisions locked in steel. He lived with what he saw for years.
Bingo! Yeah!
Did we find it?
What? Somebody ought to go get Bob.
And I went in, and there it was. The boiler was on the screen.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Now, before his time runs out, Ballard finally admits what he found, and it threatens the story the world thought it knew. Legend before the legend. Before the world knew where the Titanic rested, Robert Ballard already understood that what waited down there was not just a ship, but a truth history had never fully faced. In 1912, the Titanic was the pinnacle of human ambition, a floating palace billed as unsinkable. Crowds marveled at her grandeur, her steel and steam a symbol of progress that seemed to promise forever. But on the night of April 14th, in the cold sweep of the North Atlantic, an iceberg tore through that promise. Within hours, more than 1,500 souls were swallowed by darkness and freezing water, leaving behind only stories and a lingering question. Where had the great ship gone? For more than 7 decades, the Titanic remained a ghost beneath 12,000 feet of crushing ocean. No diver could reach her. No sonar had the precision to map her. She existed as a rumor and a legend, a memory scattered among survivor testimonies, photographs, and the occasional artifact washed ashore. Every attempt to find her ended in frustration. The ocean was patient, keeping its secret, until one man decided to see what it held. Robert Ballard had been chasing history for years. He had mapped sunken submarines and explored the ocean floor with a scientist's precision and a poet's fascination. For him, the deep was a museum waiting to be cataloged, a place where human stories were preserved in metal and rust. When he set out to find the Titanic in 1985, the world expected a technical dive, maybe some hull photographs, a glimpse of something lost to legend. What Ballard discovered changed everything. He found not just the remains of steel and rivets, but a record of lives interrupted. It was a ship broken by time and force, yet astonishingly whole in the story.
There was a paper genocide that occurred, and there was the officials in Virginia deliberately expunged the records. They destroyed the official records and most of the private records. I've got a statement that gets into the whole thing, but basically, a lot of Virginia's ruling elite claimed to be blood descendants of Pocahontas, and in their view, that meant that no one else in Virginia could make a claim that they were Native American, a descendant of Pocahontas, because to do so would mean that Virginia's ruling elite would have to be classified as all other non-whites were, which was, in quotes, and this was the law, the inferior Negroid race. This is what it was about. And with enormous hypocrisy, Virginia's ruling elite pushed policies, got them passed, and it culminated with the Racial Integrity Act of 1924.
Black American ancestors, the copper-colored indigenous Americans, did not come from Africa at all. They were the master architects who built the pyramids on both continents long before there were any African dynasties. Africa learned civilization from Black Americans, not the reverse. Black Americans are the descendants of the original master builders, the ancestors who created the most advanced ancient civilizations. Then they spread that knowledge globally. We are the original Moors of Temeri or Turtle Island. We are the ancient Egyptians. We are the mound builders of Mississippi. We are the Olmecs, the Mayans, and the Aztecs. This gets so deep, we're just getting started, so follow for more.
All right, Pretendians, hope you had a good holiday, because I got a gift for you.
Now, I know you didn't bring your colorless ass to my damn page to say this bullshit. My boy, your indigenous language was created by a white man.
That's right, he is absolutely correct. Shout out to Chief Natural Official. Make sure to follow him and support his content. He is a genius. And now, let's get into one of the craziest revelations ever today. The fake indigenous people of North America cling to the fantasy that their ancient languages are a mark of deep, timeless heritage. But what if I told you that their proof of being indigenous, by citing their languages, is literally just a bunch of bullshit? Let's start with the Navajo language, often paraded as the prime example of true indigenous linguistics. But their language was constructed by colonizers. Same colonizers responsible for the $5 Indian boarding schools, where a kid can be a kid and get paid to learn how to be an Indian. People like Robert W. Young taught in these schools and helped create the phonetics, its grammar, and conjugations of the Navajo language. And Robert Young wasn't alone. These languages were dominated by white linguists like Edward Sapir, who is credited with being the first to produce evidence for the classification of the Algic, Uto-Aztecan, and Na-Dene languages. Leonard Bloomfield is known on record as a foundational linguist, responsible for the extensive creation and education of the Algonquian family's languages. He taught them directly how to understand the structure of grammar. The list continues with Benjamin Lee Whorf, the architect behind the Hopi language. And lastly, Del Hymes, the foundational linguist behind the speaking of the Klamath and the Chinook tribes' languages. These men applied European linguistic frameworks, decided what was correct, and created the very writing systems the natives use today, which now this exposes a lie so bold it takes your breath away. American Indian language isn't documented in a linguist's book from 1935. It is documented in the DNA of global culture. It is the living, breathing, evolving linguistic force that every single culture, including the Siberian Americans, tries to emulate. American Indian vernacular sets the trend for the planet. Their evolution of the English language is the global lexicon. Their cadence, their tone, their innovation. It is so powerful that everyone, including their haters, tries to talk like them. From boardrooms to reservations to Tik Tok, the target of creation is clear. So now we must ask, who really has no language? The people who needed a team of outside academics to build them a codified one within the last century? Or the people whose organic, uncodified speech pattern literally redefine how the world communicates? I'll let you Pretendians answer that one. Team up with the Pan-Africans who are struggling for views and dance your way out of this one.
So they say some people ain't supposed to wake up, right? Some people are not supposed to wake up. I really, really, truly believe that. I just had the guy come to my house for the hot water tank to check it out because it's brand new and something wrong with it. And he matched us. And so he said, where you moving to? Because my house for sale. Where you moving to? I said, I don't know. I'm going to take my time. I want me some land and I want to start having my own. I want my land. My house is almost on an acre, but this is not ideal for what I'm about to do. And, I said, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to go see my daughter. We probably go on vacation. We going to find where we want to be. My kids grown. And so finally I was like, you woke, right? And he like, woke? What you mean? I'm like, woke. He like, huh? I'm like, are you woke? Like, do you realize that you are indigenous, that we are indigenous to the country and that they stole everything? He like, oh, I don't get into politics. I don't get into religion. I don't even get into Black history. I said, well, you look just like one of them Olmec statues. The Olmecs, you look just like them. His face lit up like a Christmas tree. I said, you look just like them. You do. And this is not politics. This is not religion. This is not Black history. This is your history. I said, your last name most likely was always your last name. He like, huh? Yes. But he immediately tried to dismiss everything I was saying versus listening to it or being open to it, because he really wasn't. He shook his head because body language will tell you. When people get to shaking their heads and turning their backs to you. But he took it in when I started saying your last name and he looked like a statue. That messed him up. Some people don't need to be woke, obviously. But that's why when I was talking to my friend, he a little bit on the wild side about things. And I'm like, we in trouble because our own people ain't on nothing. We can have as much fellowship that we want on TikTok, but when we out here in these streets around our own people, I think I'd be better off talking to an actual white person about everything on the street than my own people who need to be woken up. And not for stupidity and violence, but just to be informed. They don't even want to hear it. I called my aunt when I first started waking up, telling her, like, what did grandma ever say about, like, Indian and blah, blah, blah. Like, they was holding on to the fact of being light-skinned with, like, good hair type of stuff versus what the real indigenous people look like. We in trouble. Big time. And that's why when those people told me last year, this group I was talking to, they said, you got to find people that's like-minded and connect with them, because it's not a lot of people out here that have your same mind frame. And it's a lot of sleep people, and it's a lot of people that's unwilling to even be open to the truth. And that goes right back to some people ain't meant to wake up.
Ah, so this is exactly what they mean by you will own nothing and be happy. Y'all, do you know that car companies are now charging a monthly subscription fee in order for you to use basic amenities that come with your car? Things such as navigations, heated seats, and push to start. I'm not kidding, y'all. It all started with Mazda and Toyota, and now Hyundai, GMC, and all these other car companies have joined as well too. By 2028, they're all going to be charging subscription fees.
I'm literally sitting in my car waiting on it to warm up. Oh, you don't have push to start? Actually, I do, but I can't use my push to start. After 3 years of using it, I literally can't use it unless I pay for the My Mazda app, which I knew nothing about. I went online, and apparently after a 3-year trial, you have to start paying for the My Mazda app. And it's $10 a month. I'm not going to put all my business out there, but my car note is upwards of $600. So you're telling me that y'all can't get that $10 a month out of that $600, and you want me to pay extra money to warm my car up or cool my car down, to use the push to start feature that I have on my car that's already there, that has already been paid for, should have already been paid for, but you want more money?
We are being actually fleeced by companies. The last 2 cars that I owned had remote start capabilities from my remote. It was something that came with the car. I never had to pay, like continue paying extra for it. We got a used Toyota Sienna this year. It's 2021. And I asked about remote start and they're like, yeah, you can do it. And I was like, great, show me how to do it from my key. And they're like, no, not that way. You're going to download our Toyota app and you're going to pay $10 a month so that you can remote start your car. No. This is the part, I love technology, and then I'm also like, this is screwing us, because they are starting to be able to charge us more for things that used to just come with a car.
TikToks about people being mad that they have to pay for a subscription to be able to use features of their car, like starting your car, locking, unlocking, like seeing all the things on the app. And when I first got my old car, they gave me 3 free years of that service, of the Mazda app. And I was like, okay, cool, but I don't think that my dad's gonna keep paying for that service just so that I can start my car in the winter. So when we went shopping for my new car, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm gonna get another 3 years of this because I'm gonna get a new car. So it's gonna come with 3 more years of service. And when I got my car, they told me that I only have 1 year of it. Subscriptions are literally going to end at the same time. It didn't even do me any good. And I think that's insane because not only are they charging for a feature that should be free because it came with the car, but they're also cheating you out of what they originally said that they would give.
These companies are so fucking greedy. And it's crazy that things like this are allowed, right? So the first I heard of it was Hyundai and Toyota, to where you have to pay a subscription fee to be able to utilize the things in your vehicle that you purchased along with the vehicle, like the radio, the navigation. Even if you're using navigation from your phone, playing from CarPlay or Google Play, you have to pay a monthly fee. And now you hear GM, Ford, the rest of the manufacturers are getting on board with this by 2028. That's some bullshit. I don't want a new car. I just don't want a new car now. Because you mean to tell me, even if I come to you and I purchase my vehicle cash, I buy a brand new car cash, I have to still pay you monthly for the life of this vehicle to use my own phone to listen to music or use my navigation that I already pay a phone bill for. This shit is asinine.
Everything's a subscription nowadays, so it shouldn't be too surprising that cars are now wanting a subscription as well. And after a year, Toyota expires some of the vehicle functions. So what are those functions? Well, probably the biggest thing that expires after a year is remote start via the Toyota app. So you used to be able to, from anywhere, open the app and remote start your vehicle to get it cooled down. That's no longer a thing after a year. You also lose the digital key functionality, so you have to take your keys everywhere with you. You can no longer use your watch or your phone. Another big thing that expired is our navigation. Despite us buying the high-end XSE trim level with the big screen, when we tap to the navigation menu, guess what? It's now expired, and if I hit get started, all it wants to do is sell me the subscription. So how much is the subscription? Well, $15 a month is the entry-level price if you want the app functionality with things like navigation, which I feel like we already paid for. Now, if you want additional things like Apple Music to be able to function inside the car natively, that's $25 a month. And then if you want Wi-Fi on top of that, that's an additional $25 a month. So
I don't know if it's the frugality in me, if that's even a word, or my age, but I'm tired of paying for subscriptions for every damn thing. I'm losing my mind. I'm snapped.
Most craziest thing that I heard is that the Negroes came from Africa. I have history, let me tell you. Here we go, baby. This my great-great-grandmama. She was born in the 1800s. Her name is Minnie Hauser. She's indigenous to America. This my great-great-grandmama on my father's side. And this her daughter in the red. And then the one in the green hat, that's my grandmama. So these are 3 generations of women that been here in America. From the 1800s, you can't tell me a goddamn thing. We indigenous to America. And the crazy part is how they staged all this shit and played in our face. And how we go along with it every day. They know damn well Donald Trump know exactly who we are. He went to that meeting back in the day. He told them they don't look like Indians to Indians. Here they got us calling us African Americans. They know exactly who they are. They know who we are. We don't know that they invaders. We don't know that they immigrants. They deporting everybody but they goddamn self. Ain't none of their great-great-great-grandmamas was here. None of them. And we sit and we work for these motherfuckers. We sit and we let them drag us. We let them do whatever they want to do to us. Why? Why do we let this white man control us the way we do on our land? Do you understand that the meaning of a damn copper color person is the true meaning of an American? And then instead of giving it the rights to us, they gave it to the Europeans, the descendants. You read this shit and you get upset. And then you understand that nobody cares in the family. I'm talking to them. Nobody care about Minnie Hauser. Nobody care about her motherfucking problems what she went through. The stories came through in the family. This woman hated white people, white people. It's things that she seen happen to her parents, her grandparents. And then the one in the red left the reservation where she was born at. She was born on the reservation, baby. Let me tell you, all this shit is Indian land. Yamasee. They don't even understand what it is. You see calling yourself black. You belong here. This land belong to you. Here we all paying rent. We was owners. We owned everything. They took everything from our ancestors. And I'm looking in our eyes at Minnie Hauser. Look at her eyes. You know how much she's seen with those eyes? And us as the descendants of these people, we allow them to reclassify us and tell us what we are. But I tell you one thing, when my grandmother, Maddie, when she had my daddy, she was considered a color. And so was my daddy and my granddaddy, considered a color. A color. So you understand what happened with the color when they was reclassified? What were they before color? Why are y'all keep reclassifying us? What is going on?
Come on.
There it goes.
Oh, my flash is on.
Take it off.
I got it. It didn't make any noise. I got it, babe. It's crazy.
If Mr. Black and Mr. White live next door to each other, they have the same job, the same income, the same car, the same furniture. Yeah. They both walk out of the house in the morning. Good morning, Mr. Black. Good morning, Mr. White. Yeah. But Mr. White is still looking, but you got something that I don't have.
You're saying he's saying that
he's
subconsciously.
Saying, right.
Now, wait a minute. All right, we'll give you a chance in just a moment.
In reality, white skin is a genetic recessive status, not as said by Frances Welsing. Even though the white population says that people of color are minorities, you're genetically inferior because you are non-white. That it is the white population that is the minority, the minority on the planet.
That's the reality you're saying.
That's the reality.
Yeah.
That in spite of the fact that black people, non-white people have heard over and over again,
meaning that if you and I were to have a baby, the baby would have color, and you make the contribution and I don't.
That white plus colored. Well, wait a minute. It's not Frances Welsing that is concerned about the disappearance of white. There have been multiple articles in the newspaper talking about the decline of Western populations.
Here, incidentally, this was the percentage of the West's population in 1900, the turn of this century, about 30%. This is where we'll be, less than 10% in the year 2075. Here's where we are about today, 15. So we're not having babies.
So whites are not having babies, and there is the concern about white genetic annihilation. In other words, I look at, this is Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday holiday, And people will say, well, here's a man who talked about love. Why was he killed? And I say that the deeper logic is, what if all black and white people and non-white people and white people love? What would happen to white people? White would disappear. You see, just mix all of the people on the planet up
In other words,
together.
if race didn't matter, or if color didn't matter, it follows with the jet plane.
No, I'm not saying if it didn't matter. I'm saying that indeed if there was a mingling, if we mixed all of the people presently on the planet, stirred them up,
The white freckle-faced people would be gone.
genetic recessive status would disappear because we have the greatest genetic potential to cause white genetic annihilation.
Because you're the black.
Because we, right,
the most color.
right, we have this ability to produce melanin pigment. We have more of it than anybody else. And so the most pressure is on black people.